I took my love and I took it down. I traded Hronik for a first round pick. And I saw my reflection in a
In a
really
Stanley
long
Cup.
rebuild.
Oh, I like
Oh
your
yeah,
version
that
better.
works too.
No, I mean, they're kind of the opposite of each other.
I think a Stanley Cup is possible though. With
Not
this roster,
not this season, baby.
maybe not this year.
Definitely not this year.
I'm sorry to let a lot of you down. I know you guys thought we were early cup contenders. I don't really see that happening now.
Mathematically, it's still possible.
You're like, you know that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny where he's got like all the like conspiracy theory in the background. You're like, look, if they lose this game and this happens,
yep,
then it'll work.
And,
welcome.
And the Pittsburgh Penguins somehow all get genocided, and the
Crosby
Islanders
gets old yellered.
Old Yeller taken outside the back of PPG Arena, PPG Paints.
He's getting pretty old now. About that time.
Isn't Malkin older than him?
I think so, yeah. I think Malkin was, I think he's about a year older.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, they drafted and developed that entire core. And I'm like, Crosby, first overall. Malkin, second overall. Fleury, first overall. No shit, you're going to have a great core. Like,
I mean, hey, there are teams which have done that exact same thing and fumbled the bag.
Edmonton
Oilers. Yup. We're looking at you, Edmonton.
Hi, friends. Welcome to 313 Hockey. We are going to put this entire league on notice today. Because this is our Godfather. This is our Citizen Kane. This is going to be quite a hefty episode.
Girthy.
Apparently a lot of things have happened. Girthy. We're going to get a well-endowed episode today.
Cut or uncut?
Oh, you know how we do. We're kosher here.
Culture like head cheese?
Oh, no, I said kosher. But yeah. All right.
Wait.
There's a lot we got to get through.
Why are we kosher?
Because I'm blessed. Because I got blessings coming my way.
Oh my god.
I'm doing the prayer emoji right now.
I hate it. Luckily for everybody listening, I'm the only one who has to look at Jake.
Everett probably will too. Oh yeah, that's some news.
Oh yeah, we have some news.
So, before we get started, hold on, let me do a corporate voice. We got a little housekeeping to do before we get started today. And
if everyone could just turn their cameras on, you know, this.
Yeah. Maddie, it doesn't look like your mic's on. Maddie, could you try again? Are you there?
Hello?
Oh, I think she must be having some issues here.
Oh my god. Sorry, everyone. Just having some tech issues.
Some Zoom difficulties.
Some difficulties.
I can't
Speaking of
VPN.
difficulties.
Yeah. So, anyway, after a lot of talking and some delineation and some conversations have been had, we have decided to hire a new editor. Welcome, Everett, to the team. Everett, when you are inevitably listening to and editing this, we want you to know that we love you, and we're very happy to get started.
It's kind of weird having Everett do the editing because he's just like a very beautiful man, and
kind of looks like Tom Hardy.
He just is bringing a new element to this podcast, and instead of we have that cool logo with the skyline, and what if we just had our new logo 313 Hockey and it's Everett?
I like that.
He's the
I
face.
spent money on that logo.
You think I really want our logo to be Everett?
I do, personally. I'd do Everett as a logo, but
you do
the
Everett?
thing is, we don't want to have the most handsome logo in the league because
Everett's like handsome Squidward. But like unironically.
I think that Everett looks like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he does.
I stand by that. Anyway.
We're blessed to have him.
We could talk about Everett all day. But
we really could.
He's going to be doing a lot of our audio edits for the show. We're very excited to have him on. And what does this mean for Tom? Tom is still involved to an extent.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller him. Tom will be moving on to different opportunities within 313 Hockey.
We love him, and
we wish him the best.
Okay, our goodbye message to Tom is similar to what Stevie Y said about Vrana.
Oh my god!
We wish him all the best, but his time here Or I guess it's not as harsh as Stevie was about Veronica.
Yeah, no. Okay, so that actually brings an important point up.
Yes.
Let's do a totally normal transition.
Cool.
Things have happened over the last week. A lot. But the most important thing of them all
is Ernie is back.
Adam Ernie's back, baby.
We never doubted him.
I was going to talk about the Wings and their new players, their new system they have going on. There's been a very large change. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there's been a couple things that have moved around.
Something happened.
Kind of news to me. The Wings signed a very important player, Alexander Doucet.
Yeah.
He is the face of this franchise. He's the one. He's the contract we've all been waiting on this contract.
The face
for
of the
years.
franchise is JVR. Change my mind.
Holy shit! What a legend!
Red Wings legend. Anytime that somebody
new heaven.
Oh my god! No, somebody new asked me who my favorite Red Wing of all time is. I'm gonna say James Van Riemsdyk.
I want to get a James Van Riemsdyk jersey. Honestly, like if any listener / simp wants to purchase a James Van Riemsdyk jersey for the league, for 313 hockey,
a Red Wings jersey.
A Red Wings jersey. I would very much appreciate it. I think it would be really fun to wear. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about James Van Riemsdyk shortly. I'm very excited to get to that because that is one of the most confusing and confounding stories I've ever seen.
It's not
in my covering
that
hockey.
Crazy.
It's goofy and it
it
says a lot about the Flyers. We love it. I think.
What does that say about the Flyers?
You know what? We may as well just talk about it now.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
James Van Riemsdyk is a forward for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Ex-Red Wing.
Ex-Red Wing legend. Because for 7 whole minutes during the trade deadline, 7 minutes in heaven, we all thought that the Red Wings had made a move to sign James Van Riemsdyk.
Well, that's what was announced. It's not like we all,
Elliot Friedman said it was happening.
Some chick named Shayna, who's an insider that I've never heard of. No, really,
all these people.
It's a new insider.
I think she works for The Athletic. Yeah. So she covered the Rangers and the Devils as a freelancer for a while. Yeah. Which, that sounds like a lot of conflict of interest, like, personally.
She might as well just cover the Islanders, too, while she's at it.
But she churns content out like crazy, so...
And she broke this trade. Okay, go on.
Well, it's a alleged trade, so...
It's not alleged!
We learned this at, like, I don't know, it's like... I want to say, like, 2:39. So trade deadline ends at 3 p.m. And we're all like... Our first reaction, everybody's first reaction was like, what the hell? James Van Riemsdyk, for the record, is about 33. He's on an expiring deal, making $7 million a year. And the Flyers wanted a third-round pick out of him. So after seeing all of the other moves that, like, Yzerman made, which, again, we'll get to later, Bertuzzi, Hronek, you name it, you get this trade idea. And we're all left wondering, like, okay, what did that cost? Why are we doing this? What the hell's the point of this?
I was down for the cause.
I thought it was pretty dope. Honestly, like, I looked into James Van Riemsdyk a little bit. That guy's based.
But Jake, looking into him, is searching his name on Twitter and finding an LGBTQ positive tweet.
Actually, technically, somebody sent it to me, but they said he was like,
Jake
hey, it's more. He was more. What I really liked about him is that he's like, oh, like, I believe in these causes, and instead of just wearing, like, rainbow tape on his stick, he's like, no, I'm gonna actually do something. I'm gonna get, like, people in the community to at these games. And I don't know, even if you're like, even if you're not, like, big on the whole, like, even if you're not passionate about pride, I guess I'll say, like, the fact that this guy's willing to go above and beyond to get a community involved with an organization shows, like, good leadership and, all of those other platitudes.
Just a good
anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we have guys who would refuse to wear a pride jersey, so every player that we have to counteract those guys, I think it's good for,
So I was thinking to myself, because he's a big, like, James Van Riemsdyk is like a net front presence guy. He like blocks the puck. He'll tip things in. He kind of does like that boneless Tomas Holmstrom thing.
Boneless.
But our hopes were dashed just 7 minutes later when we found out that Steve Yzerman pulled out.
Pullout game Kind of strong.
He's got remarkably strong pullout game. And now for the Flyers, JVR was a must sell. This was the one guy where they're like, okay, even if we don't get everything else together, even if we're like, we fumble the bag on a lot of trades, we can at least sell JVR and get something in return.
Yeah.
And Chuck Fletcher, manager of the Flyers, was left holding the bag.
Holding
at
his
3
bag.
o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Holding these nuts. Yeah, that sucks.
I do not envy the Flyers and their long, arduous rebuild they're about to go under.
The Flyers or the Red Flyers? Oh, Jake just sipped his tea.
Don't worry, we'll get to that too. But anyway,
it's gonna be
James Van Riemsdyk, rest in peace. You will be missed. You will be the most missed Red Wing of this trade deadline, I think. I remember the moment I became a James Van Riemsdyk fan.
I also remember that. That was a really beautiful time in my development.
Let's take a moment of silence to remember the many highlight of JVR. Okay, thank you.
All right, let's get into the thick of it.
Yes.
Let's talk about the real deals.
Like Alexandre Doucet.
Yes, like Alexandre Doucet.
The most important signing of that day.
We haven't even talked about if you think about it, everything that took place this week, it seems for us like it's weeks old, like old fucking news. Patrick Kane, that happened years ago. Larkin extension, I was a child at the time when that happened, and now I am a full-fledged woman with titties, and I was
a 401k, like
a Roth IRA. Yeah. Real talk, though, I officially got news that I'm going to start my job. But
congratulations, Maddie. All right, everybody, let's give a round of applause for Maddie. Oh no, I forgot how to do it. Oh no. I had the thing and I forgot how to do it.
Now you just have to clap. Please.
Okay, fine.
Wow, Jake, you're so good.
I got some power with my hands. They got a real echo to them.
Jesus Christ.
Congrats to Maddie. Congrats to Alexandre Doucet. And congrats to Dylan Larkin.
Got that bag.
Finally got his bag. 8 years, $8.7 million a year. Now, we haven't really done much contract speculation on here. One, because I think it's boring as all hell. And two, because if you really wanted to hear like a bunch of people talk about numbers over and over and over, like
Sesame Street.
Literally right there. Like, do you really want to hear me go, oh, is he deserving of 8.75 or 8.5? No, he's deserving of $8.7 million a year. Why? Because it says so, okay?
Because he good with puck. That's
he
why
make puck go good.
He make puck go net. And that's why he deserves almost $9 million a year.
And the cap is going up over and over and over. So, like...
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hey, what's his name? Elliot Friedman said cap a couple weeks ago.
No cap, cap.
He tweeted out like cap going up next year, but he hit enter too fast.
Oh my God. I love that man. Elliot Friedman is like my quasi dad.
He's everybody's Canadian father.
Yeah.
You know who I really like? I really like Ray Ferraro. I don't know.
He's fine. I like Kevin Weeks.
He's goofy. Kevin Weeks is funny.
He's a legend. You know who I also love? John Bucci-Gross. Because when I was a teenager, he would always be adding me. Like, I would tweet at him all the time, and we had, like, rapport.
Whoa,
so, I know.
That's cool.
And this was before, like... This was when he was just doing his, like, college hockey, OT stuff. And
you should tweet at him.
He wasn't a big wig on the networks like he's doing now.
No, he's gone Hollywood now.
He deserves it. That's a good dude. I have a list on my phone of, I'm pretty sure the title of it is Men Who Are Good Dudes and Deserve Love. And it's just a list of men who I don't think suck.
Has Steve Yzerman made that list?
He is on the list. I think he's on the top. Hold on. Let me open the list. I'm pretty sure you're on the list.
Yeah.
You're a sleeper. I also...
a generational talent. A late round pick.
Exactly. The first note that came up when I opened my phone is things men do which turn me off, and there are a few things I just...
Ooh, read a couple of those.
You want to... Okay. Likes Joe Rogan and or Barstool Sports. Spits on the ground.
Ooh.
Uses really bad grammar / spelling / doesn't know the difference between your and your. Is a
That's
picky
bad.
eater. Oh, if a man is a picky eater, I'm like, grow the fuck up.
What do you mean by picky? You're like, oh, I only want chicken tendies.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, I don't like pickles. I don't like broccoli. I don't like shut the fuck up and eat your vegetables, bitch. Doesn't offer to hold something for me or open a door for me. And that's rare that they do it, but when they don't do it, I'm like, "Oh, it's like that, I see."
The feminism leaving your body when
Oh
a
my
dude doesn't hold the door open.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, okay,
So,
back to the
yeah.
list. Let me see what
Men who deserve what was it? Men who aren't bad.
Oh yeah, hold on. Men I love and are good dudes.
That's
Steve
it.
Yzerman is number 11. Other notable Detroit sports people or just sports people who made the list: Matthew Stafford, Jamal Williams, Dan Campbell, Ken and Mick. They collectively share one
Oh,
line.
so this is like a regularly updated list.
I haven't updated it since February 13th, so almost a month.
Oh.
Shaq is on my list. I love that man. Yeah, all those dudes I just listed. Jake, you're one line above Steve Yzerman.
Yeah,
But
baby.
one below Pedro Pascal.
Oh, I mean, I understand. Like, look at him.
I know. I know.
Shaq is at the bottom of the list.
It's a mix between like my male friends and family members, and then
Me
just
and my very good friend John Bucci Gross.
Bucci Gross.
Bucci Gross. Sorry, I don't eat a lot of chicken parm. Anyway.
What?
Well, yeah, isn't that his whole thing? Is he
I know.
like eats a bunch of chicken
Why
parm?
don't you?
I've just like, I don't know. It's like spaghetti and chicken to me. Like I haven't had like.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like if I want spaghetti, I'll eat spaghetti. If I want chicken, I'll eat chicken. But having them together,
What the fuck?
integrating them,
All right,
that's
Jake.
anyway. I haven't had it before.
You've never had chicken parm?
I've had it like once maybe, but it was like
I'll
one of
make it
those.
for you.
Yeah, all
I
right.
make
I'm
a
up for that.
mean chicken parm. One that I would make for Johnny B.
You know, Johnny B. Do you know what I'm doing right now?
Wanking.
I'm baking bread. I'm at the third day of raising the leaven, and I'm going to bake it today.
Oh God,
And that is
Jake's
how
going
my
through a
mental health
breakup.
is going.
He's in the making bread stage of the breakup.
It's okay, guys. I'm normal. I'm great.
What kind of bread? It better be a sourdough or don't even talk to me.
It's Czech bread. It is Eastern
shut the
European
fuck
style.
up.
That's right.
You're
That's
so
gonna be
annoying.
popping.
Czech
I've made it
bread.
many times before, but yeah.
For all your other breakups.
Well, I used to bake it all the time in college, and then I just kind of stopped because I had an ex that would like yell at me when I would bake bread. So
for what?
She thought it was distracting.
She gluten intolerant. What, distracting to what?
I don't know. I just would find a reason to yell at me about everything.
Is this the one who made the Chevy entrance?
This is the one who drank a gallon of milk every week.
Oh my God.
She'd walk around with the jug just taking pulls.
No, this is not real.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Where's she from?
Fenton.
Oh, she's from Michigan.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Anyway.
Enough is enough. Can we please talk about Adam Ernie? Like,
oh my God.
I have been itching.
I've been holding out on this for so long.
I have had an itch that needs to be scratched, and that itch is Adam Ernie.
That itch's name? Adam Ernie.
I missed him. I'm so glad that he's back. Also, it was really nice to see Nedeljkovic back, even though he didn't play. He may play today. Time of recording, we're going to play the Flyers this evening. Maybe we'll see him. I mean, who fucking cares at this point? Not to be
yeah, we're
dramatic.
kind of at the fuck it part of the season.
I'm at the fuck it part of the season. Just let Ned play. We all love him. And even if he gets shelled.
I'm just in it for the vibes at this point. Like, I want some young call ups. I want some like
Ben Chiasson. Isn't it first name Ben?
Alex Chiasson.
Alex. I don't know. They always pronounce his name differently.
And then there's gonna be one guy who calls him Chai Asen.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, he got signed. Alex Chiasson got signed for a 1 year, $750,000 a year contract. he is going to be our fill-in with our recent departures.
He's our fuck it we ball player. He's old.
He is our fuck it we ball player.
He's old and hasn't had a lot of NHL experience, so I feel like it's kind of when like when the team is down by so much and they pull the emergency backup goalie just so they like the local hero so they can just have some ice time. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah.
You're calling him like Rudy. He's our Rudy.
Yeah. No, he seems cool. Like he played fine yesterday against the Isles as well as anyone could in that fucking game.
He played with Edmonton for a bit. I think he was in the AHL this most recent year, and he's been kind of crushing it there. So like, it's a 1 year, 1-way deal. If he winds up playing like shit, they can just waive him, and there's like not really a commitment to it. This is like your like when in doubt booty call. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Oh,
When you
I
are
struck
out
out
of
at the bar.
options, right.
But you're like, they'll let me hit.
You have like this guy from your past who you know is like old and mature that will take care of you in some way, but you're not expecting too much. So if it goes south, it's all right. And he can talk French with Perron. He's also this
You know
guy.
what we should do? I've decided from now on, when players come in, we should psychoanalyze them like it's like dating.
Oh god.
So for example, moving on from Philip Peronic was like your steady, fairly consistent significant other. Maybe he let you down here and there, but
Phil?
like for the most part,
Are you talking about Phil? Well, the thing about Phil in our relationship that really is disappointing for me is to see how much growth he has had in this last season, and we know his potential. But the thing is, this is what happened to Phil. There was this bombshell out in Vancouver, right? Like the hottest chick you've ever seen. And at that point, like I would feel bad holding him back to not be with that woman because she's just so hot and she wants him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm happy for him that he's going to be with this amazing, hot, beautiful woman who really wanted him. But I understand that it is kind of my loss. You know what I'm saying?
For me, I see Hronek as like, he was the guy who you asked to do a lot more than he was capable of. Like, you knew his limitations.
That's every guy.
And yet, like, early on in the relationship, you expected him to do a lot more. And he wasn't really up to the task, and, that's fine. You
think
opened
so?
up the... I think Hronek, like, they used to play him on, like, the top pairing, and he
and he killed it.
No, he would get nuked.
This season with Mo?
No, I'm saying a couple years ago.
No. What have you done for lately, baby?
Oh, see, I'm doing the whole relationship because I think Hronek's been around long enough where I can get the lore. We've been dating for a while, and he just. I always asked him to do more than it was expected of him.
Right.
He wasn't able to do it all, but he tried his best.
He was being held back though by his friends around him. He
got into a really toxic friendships.
So toxic, so fucking.
And then you know what? He had a friend that really helped him with like self-improvement, and he was the relationship was amazing for a while.
It was flourishing. It brought out the best in him. He could be his best self.
The problem that I see is like, if he has to depend on his friends all the time to be successful, like, who is Philip Hronek deep down? And so I think that this Vancouver journey is going to be really good for him. I think he's going to be able to reconnect with himself, maybe like meet the right kind of people. And, it's going to put him in a good position. I wish him the best, but I think it was a mutual thing, and I think it was time to move on.
The offer was too good to say no.
I can't blame him. Anyway, for all of you without the subtext, Philip Hronek was traded to the Vancouver Canucks.
I think they got it. Yeah. Pretty sure they got it.
Well, we got to give him the nitty gritty.
Fine, give him the gritty.
So it was Hronek in a 2023 fourth round pick for a 2023 first round pick, originally the New York Islanders pick, and a 2023 second round from Vancouver. Very crazy. Did not see that one coming. Actually,
the Canucks are out of their fucking minds.
The Canucks might be the most soup-brained like organization of the league. Like,
I don't know what's going on.
The Canucks are like the what are we of
relationships. What are we?
You just want to know what the hell the game plan is because they just do not. They're never consistent with their moves. They're like, okay, Bo Horvat's gone. We got a bunch of draft capital. Cool. it looks like there's a rebuild happening. And then it's like, nope, I'm going to flip that to get Filip Hronek.
They really wanted him.
I didn't realize they fiended for him so bad.
I know. They're thirsty for him.
You know what's hilarious, too, is it cost more to get Filip Hronek than it did to get Jacob Chikrin.
I was just about to say that. And Vrana.
Oh,
okay, time to talk about our next ex.
Yeah, so actually, it's really funny that you mentioned this. Nick Alberga, our number one Jacob Vrana super fan, messaged us and asked to come back on the show. Not only did he ask, he begged to come on the show.
It's true. He's like, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. I feel really heard and respected. And he just wanted to see Jake's shining face again.
And I don't blame him. You know, I have a golden retriever smile.
And you have a haircut now, too. He doesn't even know about that.
Very nice haircut. I bet you he's really Nick, if you're listening to this, I hope you're looking forward to seeing my haircut. He needs to get out of like toxic Leafs media. He's trying to like.
He needs to
become he kind of is toxic Leafs media. I gotta say,
he is toxic Leafs media. He totally is. I look at his tweets, man, and I'm like, this man is cooking some fucking Chef Boyardee expired from 2002, man.
He was tweeting like So Rasmus Sandin, who is a defenseman that played at the Leafs, was traded to Washington, and he immediately gets 3 points in his first game. And he's just constantly tweeting out like all of the stats and all the goals,
my God.
with like crying, laughing emojis.
He's so handsome.
That last episode is like a character study. I mean, like a fever dream almost.
What are you talking about?
Like, listening to parts of that interview again, I was like,
I know.
How many times did he say, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to defend myself.
I had to be like, bro, you didn't answer the question at all.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I gotta keep us together.
And Maddie's like the confrontational one, and I'm the nice one. We're good cop, bad cop.
I'm confrontational?
Yeah. No. What do you mean by that? You got a problem with that?
Yeah, what's the problem, Jake? Go on.
I'm like, you know that Always Sunny where it's like Honey and Vinegar Realty?
Fuck you.
And like Dennis and Mac
I'm Honey. I want to be
Dennis is like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. And Mac's like sizing the guy up. That's you.
I don't want to be that.
I've been calling people bozo lately.
Bozo, that's a good insult. You know what I've been doing lately? Instead of giving someone the finger when they're like being an asshole in the driving, I give them a really sarcastic thumbs up, and it pisses them off way more.
Oh, they get so angry about thumbs up.
And I'm like, good job.
I go, yay! Look at you!
Look at you! Sometimes, Jake, you get into this Miss Doubtfire voice. Look at you!
Oh, darling, don't worry, we'll take care of you. I think I could do a good Mrs. Doubtfire.
You actually can't. Okay, can we talk about Vrana now?
Yeah.
Speaking of Mrs. Doubtfire. All right, here's our relationship with Vrana. So we got into a relationship with Jacob, and in the beginning, we all thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. He's really, showing that he has the potential to be a great partner. And through some unfortunate series of events, he kind of, he was going through some things but we didn't get all the information. He just went away. But we knew he could be so great. So it was really sad.
Ghosted us.
He kind of ghosted us. But we had some compassion because we knew he was going through something. So we were just trying to ride it out, right? And then we heard that his evil mother doesn't want him to stay with us anymore, even though he wants to. So he had to end up leaving for almost nothing. And we just knew that the potential was so good, and that makes it so much sadder.
He, to me, I keep thinking that if things were different, if there were just different circumstances, we could be happy.
And now I feel like I don't have closure in this relationship because I'll never know. I'm left yearning, and I'll never really know what happened. And that hurts. That hurts.
I don't want to say he's an I could fix him, but
he is an I could fix him for someone else.
I don't know what can I do for you,
Right,
I just wish that I could I wish you would just open up to me, tell me what's wrong.
I know, but I don't think he can. I think his mom would swoop in
He
and
went to the Blues for an AHL forward and a 7th round pick with
I
50% salary retained.
I know. It's
I
like,
think what
what
was
did he
especially
do?
weird
Yeah,
to me about like that whole thing was the press conference afterwards.
with Stevie.
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
they talked about
He
him, it was like very HR,
Goodbye.
very like,
Well,
you know,
whatever
it was
he
time for
did
us to
was
move
bad
on.
enough that we wanted to get rid of him and retain his salary just so he doesn't play here anymore. So, and bad enough that Stevie couldn't even fleece another team to like give him
Do
more.
you do you think we'll ever know like what happened?
Maybe at some point. I feel like it has to, like, I don't know. I feel like I honestly don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if we'll know, but I and like, you know, the gossip in me wants to know what happened.
Right.
The little drama fiend, but like, you know, it's not our business too. It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
This whole trade deadline's just been like the weirdest trade deadline I think I've ever seen.
I've also, it's that, but I've also seen like the worst, most rancid, fucking cursed tweets from our fans that I have ever
Hmm.
seen. I tweeted like on, I think the day before the trade deadline. That's the worst I've ever seen the timeline. And then people were bringing up like Lions games where we got fleeced by the refs, and that is not as bad as how I saw the timeline this week.
Tell us a little bit about that. Elaborate.
On what?
The rancid energy. Like what made it so bad? Was it
Everyone,
Bertuzzi?
no, it was everything. It was a culmination of all of that, and people just freaking the fuck out. Fans saying they don't want to be a fan of the team anymore because of
Oh
the
my
moves. A
god.
lot of people were saying that, saying they don't want to be fans anymore because of the moves that were made, saying that Stevie doesn't know what he's doing. Basically just throwing in the bucket. Like, I don't think that's the expression,
I'm
but you know what I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna put on my kid gloves here.
Hmm.
I'm going to
That
dip them in
sounds
cotton candy so they're
pedophilia.
nice and soft.
Still sounds like
I'm going
pedophilia.
to. I'm trying to think of like how to make this like as gentle as possible.
Oh, what are you about to say?
Um, Hockey is a business.
Oh no,
And
people aren't going to want to hear that.
sometimes that means that people come and go, and it is unfortunate. I think. You are absolutely entitled to mourn the loss of your favorite player, and I think that anybody who will clown on you for that is also wrong
I agree.
because we all grieve in our own ways.
Yes.
Some of us like to, you know, go full doomer mentality and like want to abandon the team. Others, like me, become so delusionally positive that I can frame any situation, any bad trade, I can make automatically a good one. I can do it
Okay,
right now.
Ben Chirac, go.
Well, the thing is with Ben Sherratt,
Oh no.
they
I
signed him for some heaviness, some defensive depth,
Yeah.
and you know, on paper right now it might seem like a bad move, but as the cap continues to go up and the
Oh my
roster gets better,
god.
they can play Sherratt with less pressure, so there's less onus on him to do anything big.
Well, that's the thing. They're afraid to put him any lower than the second line, even though he doesn't deserve to even be, or the second
Yeah,
defense pairing.
I think you put him on third pairing, and he's automatically one of the best third pairing defensemen in the league.
Okay. And
But they're not doing that right now. So it's Steve Eiserman. I know you're listening to this, and
come on the
Derek
pod.
Lamone. First off, come on the pod. We loved having you last time and the time before that.
And then when you came over for dinner.
And when you had dinner with us, the Hanukkah special, that was a great one. But anyway,
Me, Stevie Y, and D Mac all having Hanukkah, toasting our latkes in the air. I feel like Stevie Y would be a sour cream topper for
yeah, I could see
latkes,
that.
and D Mac would be ketchup.
True Canadian man right there. True. He's not Sudbury. He's
No, he's from BC, remember?
BC. That's right. That's a
Yeah.
BC boy move. I don't know what I would do. I would have applesauce with mine.
Applesauce is the correct answer.
That's the best answer, right?
Finally,
Like
you're an ally. Finally, you're done spinning
in the
slurs.
podcast.
Jake saves Hanukkah 2023. Vodka
Anyway, we
Dipper
should
special. What?
back on the point I was trying to make is basically like everybody grieves in their own way.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah.
sad, but this is like it's like getting out of a relationship. You know, you are allowed
Yeah.
to mourn and grieve,
Yeah.
but eventually you're going to need to move on. There needs to be like
I'm trying not to be a bitch right now because
I'm not being mean. I'm
no,
not
you're
trying to be
not. You're
mean.
being nice. And if I may, and I may because this is our podcast. I feel and just I'm speaking from personal experience, right? When I was a teenager or like a kid, I've seen some of my best or like my favorite guys be traded. Besides, obviously, we're blessed to have dudes like Lidstrom, Zetterberg, and Datsuk, who luckily all
David
played their.
Legwand,
Shut up. They're in.
Daniel Alfredson.
No, I'm saying those guys. They were my favorites, and they played their entire career in Detroit. But I have seen other favorites of mine as a kid get traded, and that broke me.
Yeah,
Like
Fedorov. I mean, that like
yeah,
crushed me as a child.
yeah. So like even DMAC got traded.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn over time. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast, like when we thought Adam Ernie was going to get dealt, so I tried to like him less. It's like, that they can get traded, so I try to like detach myself. But some people I've noticed with certain players are in this crazy parasocial relationship. It's more than just being your favorite player. They think that they're like, I can't explain the phenomenon.
Friends.
Yeah, and just like, it's
I
honestly
think
some psycho shit, and I
I
know I
think
said
if
I was gonna not be like rude, but I'm not saying like everybody, but some people
yeah.
lose their shit and like are really grieving the loss of like a friend. And
And yeah,
and
and
people can do that if they want, but I'm just saying, like mentally, I have learned and can recommend try not to get as attached to players because they can always leave. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. I and
So you
like
don't get hurt.
yeah, don't just get yourself all nice and jaded. You're gonna get hurt
Yeah.
sooner or later.
It's like
Assume that
dating. It's like dating.
assume everybody will leave at some point. Sorry, that's my divorce kid like
No, it's
advice right
true.
there. But like,
It's true. Both Jake and I are children of divorce, and that's the best way. All good
maybe
things
that's
come
like
to an end.
maybe that's why we're like more I don't know prepared for this because a lot of these people probably still have loving families and stuff and like good childhoods and so they see something bad happen and they're like what
I don't know how to deal with the
why
loss. I know.
I get it I understand like being upset but if you are going through the likes of a player on Twitter
Well, that
there might be
and like
it might be time to hit the log out button
and writing like soliloquies for them, saying how you're gonna miss them and how
miss
much.
the smell of their hair.
But like,
I remember the time he said, "Excuse me," when we were in the hallway.
exactly. I remember that time where you accidentally shot the puck at the glass where I was standing at warm ups.
Oh no!
No, okay, now I'm exaggerating. And
You kept giving me the middle finger during practice, and I know what that meant. That meant one day you'd lift up your ring finger, and I could put a wedding ring on you.
oh my god. No, it just makes me sad to see people get so turned upside down.
And I want to say like that's bad, but what's worse are the people that are like replying and being like, "Get over it!" Like,
oh yeah, that's crazy too.
Quit being so sensitive.
People can do whatever they want. All I'm saying is it has helped me not to become as attached to the players because then when they leave, I can not be crushed.
Yes, that's how I feel too.
That's all.
Ta-da! All right, Larkin has been extended. We talked about that.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about being attached to players that have to leave. We know who we haven't talked about though.
Adam Ernie.
It's Tyler Bertuzzi. Oh yeah.
No, I'm joking. We've talked so much about Ernie. Yeah, let's talk about Bert.
Talk about Bert because I know you and I both loved Bert a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the guy's a junkyard dog. Like that's his whole thing. But seeing him leave, he got sent to Boston for a first round pick and a fourth round pick.
Why are you saying it like that?
Do I sound broken?
Oh, the part that
No.
broke me the most about Bertuzzi was seeing him in the Boston uniform with his fucking Red Wings elbow pads on underneath.
Oh,
That
I got
hurt.
I got hurt when I saw the Larkin press conference where he like
Oh, yeah.
broke down in
And
tears.
Larkin's Instagram post too, showing them from, like, the development camp. That like, as much as I just said all the things that I just said, like, it is still they're still human beings, and, like, seeing Larkin so heavily affected by, like, losing his friend, and yeah, we like Bert too. It's sad, but at the same time, I am really happy that he landed in Boston because right now they have the best odds to win the Stanley Cup, and I think he's a really good fit for their team as well. I think
You know what? Here's how I would describe my relationship with Tyler Bertuzzi.
Okay, let's go.
Ready?
Let's go.
We've been together for a while,
Yeah.
and we've dealt with a couple health scares here and there,
Mhm.
a couple little disagreements, but nothing too crazy. You were
Little
always there for me.
disagreements. We
You
had
were.
some issues during COVID.
We had some COVID issues, some financial issues before then, but
What's the financial issues?
there was like that contract dispute where they it took forever to get him signed.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, we've been through thick and thin together, and when the going got tough, you were always there for me.
Yeah.
But I know you found an amazing job opportunity out in Boston.
Right.
And you would regret it for the rest of your life if you
Right.
didn't go. So I want you to, always keep me in your heart. Maybe one day we could be together again. But,
Oh.
follow your dream.
I'm
Get what
Mhm.
get what you deserve.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I will miss him, but at the same time, I think that he's gonna be. I mean, I was watching the highlights from the game yesterday against the Rangers. He's already. Just imagine playing with fucking the roster that the Red Wings have, and then being able to play with fucking Brad Marchand and shit. And I don't know. I feel I'm happy for the dude. I'm happy. I hope that
Those two are gonna be mean motherfuckers together.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
a junkyard dog squad there. Now he just joined the dog pound, man.
Yeah.
He was a stray fighting on the mean streets of Detroit, and somebody adopted him, and he's like, "Welcome to the pound."
And then somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, we're gonna be so weak without him." I'm like, "We are so weak with him. We haven't even talked
Yeah,
about that."
like soft. You mean?
Okay. Yes, like we are
Yeah, that's
so soft, and I'm pretty sure now that we've covered all of the Red Wings. Oh no, last one before I get into how we're soft. Sonny for a 4th-round pick. Also, we'll miss that fucking guy.
Yeah, I really like him. He played a lot of different. I really like that he wore a lot of different hats with the organization.
And he's won Stanley Cups or a Stanley Cup with the Blues, so I see his value, and he was always a guy that we thought could get dealt. Like me and you, we talked about him every time we've considered like trade packages. We've always wanted to lump him in there. So
I like his vibe. He kind of has
yeah.
that like Luke Glendening work ethic.
Oh, interesting comparison.
He's a dog.
Oh, speaking of getting hurt by people getting traded, Luke Glendening. I loved him.
Oh, I love Luke Glendening.
Luke Glendening is, for me, like, he could have been like a Larkin.
Really?
Like, not skill-wise. Let me preface.
Oh, you're talking like
Michigan boy, like, bred. I watched him play at Michigan. Like,
do you know his whole story?
You got to be more specific.
So he was undrafted, and he literally just I was reading an interview by him, and he just works his ass off to get anywhere. That's all he does.
I love that. And just again, for the record, I'm not saying he's like Dylan Larkin skill wise, but I like that.
You're saying icon wise, like figure, like how Justin Abdelkader was, where it was like Michigan boy, came in and
oh yeah, Abby, but he's a Sparty, so I like him less.
I didn't know that. I thought Luke Glendening was a Sparty.
No, he's a Wolverine.
Okay. Anyway, Sonny, you will be missed, but I think you're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
There's always room on NHL rosters for guys like Oscar Sundqvist.
True. And Tyler Bertuzzi.
If you really think about it, I was thinking about the Verana Mantha trade.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody try to say oh, that trade was just a lose-lose for both sides.
What?
False. Here's why. When the initial trade, we got the 1st and 2nd round pick. That first round pick was used to acquire Kosa. The second was used to move up in the draft.
Yep.
And I believe we got a third in exchange, and that became Dmitry Buchelnikov, who's crushing it in the Russian leagues.
We need to rescue him.
We do.
313 Hockey goes to Russia to kidnap Buchelnikov and bring him to the promised land.
And here's where things get even crazier. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Wouldn't that be cool, like a heist mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. So they get Richard Panik back.
Oh my god.
And then they flip Richard Panik and a draft pick to the Islanders for Nick Leddy. And then Nick Leddy becomes Jake Wallman, Oscar Sundquist, and a second-round pick this draft.
You just big-brained everybody.
Galaxy brain for Anthony Mantha. You got a bunch of shit.
And Mantha's
you got Jake.
Not great anymore.
Oh, he's bad. The Caps want him traded. The Caps are like
and just a question, like, why are our fangirls not fiending over losing Mantha? I feel like he had the same sort of...
I think they weren't around for that time. I think a lot of people jumped on when like Vrana came over.
Oh, that makes sense. If you're new to the game and like you're just starting to like loot, like if it's I guess we have also a different view because we've been watching the Red Wings for so long. So
we're jaded.
Yeah, if you're a new fan and you're seeing now like for the first times your players like that you've been watching get traded, I get that too. That's a different experience, and I didn't actually think about that. So
look at that. We're learning 313 Hockey discovers empathy.
Fuck off. I mean, you already told me I'm vinegar. I'm confrontational.
You got the dog in you. No, I called you bad cop, too.
Oh, my bad.
Also, if this is your first time experiencing a trade deadline where you lose all your favorite players, get used to it. There's going to be something different every year. Don't get attached.
Listen to how fucked up this is. Like, the fucked up thing is my favorite player, as you all know, Cider. He's safe. Like we have heard and we know that is the vision, to build this team around our young guys. But when his next contract is up, then I'm going to be having the same fucking worries, and I'm going to have to consider that Cider will get traded one day. Maybe. I hope not, but that is something that can happen. And some people just don't want to think about that. But I have to, or I'll kill myself. Anyway.
Totally normal transition time. Definitely not alarmist here. Jake's hair definitely didn't just turn gray hearing that. Okay. We should probably let's finish up our trade deadline segment by talking about a couple hardcore facts.
Oh, this is gonna be
the
good.
Wings now have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds of the 2023 draft and 3 in the first 2 of 2024.
Get rid of
them. Let me repeat that. 5 draft picks in the first 50, 60 picks this year, and then 3 in the first 2 rounds, so around 60-ish picks next year. That's a lot. That is a lot of picks. That's good, but I feel like, are they going to use them, or are they going to flip the debt?
I feel like
they're going to flip them.
They fucking better.
So I was looking at people who you could potentially flip them for or offer sheet, and I'm wondering if the Rangers are going to be in a really tight situation. Alexis Lafreniere needs a raise.
No, he doesn't. He needs a demotion.
Well, he's been playing like shit because he's stuck on the third line. So I'm wondering,
You think that's the issue?
I would say that's one of the issues. I don't think Gerard Gallant's system is very good for him at all. He's if I don't want to Zadina him. I don't want to be he's like Zadina, but
he kind of is.
He kind of is. I feel like he just needs a fresh start, and
could we fix him?
I think you put me in a room with him for a couple hours, he's going to come out with a brand new outlook on life.
And
probably thinking, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to live like this guy."
I was going to go a different direction, and I'm really glad that I'm not going to. Okay.
So, overall trade deadline wise, though, what grade, what letter grade would you
I was just about to ask you that. I'd say B-.
I think that's respectable. B- is good. Because we got the value that we could out of guys like Hronek. We got a huge overpay with Hronek. We got good pay for Bertuzzi.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of underwhelming for Vrana. Incredibly underwhelming.
Well,
and then Sonny got about what I would expect.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to give any different of a grade considering we still won't know about Verona, and I think the rest of the trades I was pleased with, and Steve Eiserman also said that he's not going to be a seller this year, so that's
Are you a buyer? You mean?
a buyer, yeah. And
Yeah.
the offer, for example, for Hronik, he just couldn't say no to, so that's what happened there.
Yeah, he said something about like it being like a non-negotiable statement. Like he'd already
Right.
made up his
Too
mind,
good to say no.
which is good because I was worried that like I don't think he was going to do anything like silly, but a lot of the fan base is like we should be buyers this deadline. We should be doing this. And after watching those two Ottawa games, I'm like we shouldn't be doing dick. We are not
Yeah.
at their level yet.
We
At one
are
point,
so okay. I got it. We got to talk about those Ottawa games.
holy fuck,
That was the
do we?
downfall. That is why the Byzantine Empire fell.
Holy cow, those were like there were points at that game. I think it was the second game where I was like, this is just straight up not fun to watch right
Well,
now. Like I'm not having a good time.
you didn't even fucking watch.
No, I turned it off after the first
Yeah,
period
you're
because it was just
smart.
so
You
the
you care about your mental health.
the reffing on both of those games was some of the worst I've ever seen. And I'm not one to
Yes.
usually bitch about NHL refs because like they're just trying their best. But
Are
like
they
those
though?
games, there were points where it straight up felt like game management.
Yeah, that was
So
terrible, first of all. But also,
I'll,
like, it's so hard for me because one, that reffing and the officiating in both those games were so bad, but equally as bad were the Red Wings. So it's like, yes, the refs were bad, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we were never going to win that game or even we're soft. They bullied us, they outskated us, they outplayed us, and I was sick to my stomach watching us get beat up on. And besides Bertuzzi fighting, um, no one
nobody did
really,
anything.
yeah, no one stood up for themselves, and
Ben
it's
Sherratt's supposed to be this big
oh yeah,
guy, this tough guy. Where was he when the fighting started? Where was he when what's his name? Brady Kachuk skated
oh,
up to the bench and was like, "Who wants it?" I'm like, "You really want to like just let that guy walk around? You got
that
to
makes
humble
me
him."
so mad. Like I wanted to get out there and just
I'm
whack him in
glad
the face.
Larkin like dummied him at one point, but it
Just
was too
like
little, too late because the guy just scored. So like,
yeah, and I think Ryan Hanna said it best. It's like if you're going to deal with a team like that, and both of those games, at least for me, felt very much so like a playoff series. Um, you have to do one of two things. One, you either ignore it and just play your game and play it well, or two, you fucking drop the gloves and you give it what you got to give it. But they didn't really do
mm-hmm.
either of them. They did something in between, and it made us look very weak, and it was very frustrating to watch.
It's like they couldn't make up their minds on what they wanted to do.
Right.
Because at some points I'm like, okay, they're getting tough, like they're
Yeah.
they're starting to fight back, and then it was like, oh no, they're gonna
They're
stick to
gonna
their
power and
system.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't. It
very
was just
fair.
really frustrating. I think it's proof to me when we first started the season, I was like, oh, we're about the same level that Ottawa is right now in terms of our rebuild. No,
Yeah.
we're definitely not. We're not at
Well,
the same level that they are or Buffalo right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you're
And
not
it's not a bad thing. Like it's good to know like where you stand, and that's fine. Like if we need another year, if we need another two, I'm fine with that too. But like, I don't want to jump the gun before it's too late.
yeah. No, for sure. And I mean those games were very clear signals that after we lost so badly both nights, Steve I tweeted right after the L2. I was like, yeah, we're gonna see some moves tomorrow because that was the signal to say, hey, we're not making a playoff push this season. And we're
Yep.
not. We're truly not. We're
And
not
like,
serious.
and if you're getting like demolished by Ottawa, who's still not even in the playoffs yet,
Right.
like who's not even close to a lock yet, they still might like miss it this year too.
But they stole
Like
4 really important points from us.
those were incredibly important games, and it was a good test to see like when the pressure's on, can this team live up to the expectations? And they could not.
Right. Yeah, that was
The
upsetting.
I was getting. I think the part that like really just made me almost give up was in that second game.
Mhm.
Dominic Kubalik scores a goal.
Mhm.
Travis Hamonic comes up and just starts wailing on him just for no
Yeah.
reason. they both get offsetting penalties.
Yeah.
And then later on, Tim Stutzle gets a nice little breakaway,
You love
and
saying his
somebody like
name.
tries to nudge him off the puck, and he does the most incredible Olympic dive I've ever seen in my life.
He
I
had a,
held up a 10.
yeah.
The form was impeccable.
I
The
can't
sa-
remember in this
it
moment.
was the one that got him the penalty shot.
Oh, yes, I do remember that dive. Would you want him on the Red
He,
Wings? Stützle?
fuck yeah, I would.
Okay, just wanted to make
I would
sure.
want Tim Stutzle immediately.
You just want to say his name more.
I do. I think it's a cool little name. It sounds like a pastry. Yes, I'll take a Stutzle.
It's like
Um,
Strudel.
yeah, it's a cool, like he's a
Streusel.
really good player, but like
We're just gonna collect all the
I
German speakers.
he's a diver, man.
Yeah.
There's a game of him against Seattle where he dove, and then a game afterwards where they're playing, and one of the guys who plays for the Kraken were like, "Hey, nice dive there, Timmy. You want to try that again?"
There was some diving yesterday too during that Islanders.
Oh, the Islanders are bad for it too. Cal Clutterbuck is like a supreme diver. But yeah, like
Olympic team.
just between the game management and the way the Wings played like shit, like both realities can be true.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. I felt like I had to put a
Yeah.
paper bag on my head. And then like all of the Sens fans are like dunking on everybody on the replies on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't read those. Thank God.
Oh my God, they're relentless. I
Why
know
do you
because they're
read
like
that?
funny little meme. They're like a funny little meme team or whatever. But
A
like
meme team. I used to feel that way, but now I hate them. Like
yeah,
they're gonna become a rival
quickly
for us.
they're
If
quickly
not
becoming a
already.
rival.
Fuck
I kind of dig that though.
They're
I'm
so
excited.
annoying. And I'm really glad because I was supposed to go out to those games. I was gonna drive out there, but I'm really glad that I didn't.
Like, Lord knows we need more rivalries in this league. And I think
Right.
an interdivisional rival like that, where we're on the similar trajectory with our rebuilds, or they're ahead of us right now, but like, we're both going to be good around the same time. Like, that's a really good thing for the league, and that's a good thing for the Wings.
And
now you have a villain too. Now we have Brady Tkachuk as a villain.
He's so easy to be a villain. His face.
He's got that like Kentucky Appalachian like. My mom. I'd like you to meet my wife. I'd like you to meet my wife and sister. And there's just one woman standing there.
No, I'm telling you, he's got some Habsburg in him.
You will never get tired of that.
He does. He looks like it. Everyone, if you're not familiar with the Habsburg family, Google them and look. Just tell me he doesn't look like he's
the Habsburg family literally inbred themselves into extinction.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brady, if you want to come on the show and talk about the health issues that you've accrued from being part of an inbred family, we'd love to have you.
Brady, your brother matched with me on Tinder for 2 minutes when he was in Detroit.
Nice.
You knew this.
I didn't know it was Matthew.
Yes, you did. I sent you screenshots.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Okay.
Brady has now become like public enemy number one with the Wings fan base. Would you agree? Who do you think is like the most hated player on other teams for the Wings fan base?
Oh, Jamie Benn.
Yeah. That's a pretty good answer.
You mean current players, right?
Yeah. Like all time, it's going to be Claude Lemieux forever. But like, that is so.
Jamie Benn.
That's a good example. I was thinking him. A lot of people don't like Marchand, but I mean that's like a league-wide thing.
Yeah, he didn't do anything to us in particular.
If Brady does any more like dick moves, like if he injures a like good player, then
I don't really think he's gonna like. It's not really his style. I think he's a shit stirrer, and someone's gonna stir his shit, but not on our team.
I want to see him get under Trevor Zegras' skin because I just want to see that guy like just go ape. I guarantee you,
like Trevor Zegras versus Brady Tkachuk for me is like if the Paul brothers were to fight each other in a boxing match. It's the same. Like either way, no matter who wins, we win because they're gonna beat the shit out of each other.
Wasn't it Jake Paul wants to like box Evander Kane?
Really?
Or somebody, Evander Kane was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you," and I'm like, "Yeah, good job, Evander Kane. Like, let's go, dumbass."
Okay, charity event. Let's
honestly.
Go ahead.
We should do it.
No, I was going to say Fight night in the D, but I fight Evander Kane.
I think that'd be pretty good. I'd watch that.
And we'll collect bets like a horse race on who people think are going to win.
I want to be the guy running around with like the betting board and like the wad of cash.
You gotta have
That's what
suspenders
I do.
on, striped suspenders,
Yeah. So a
and
cigarette constantly burning.
a Panama hat.
Yeah. With a little piece of paper sticking out of it.
I don't even need to fight Evander Kane. It could be someone else.
What do you think the Wings need to like make this team tough? Like, do they need like a Tom Wilson type? Do they need
I
like a
mean,
culture
yeah.
change? Like,
I don't know. I mean, a Tom Wilson type wouldn't hurt, but it's just I feel like that's
mm-hmm.
such an easy thing to say, you know. Um,
I think it's a culture thing, honestly. I think a lot of the players
yeah.
are like afraid of standing up for themselves.
Berggren. I notice that the most with him, he just gets bullied. Just
Yeah.
like a little boy. He looks like a little boy getting checked and shoved around.
Yeah, he's a rookie in his first
No, I
hockey
know. He's a
season or first
baby.
NA. We need like a we just need like a big defenseman who's gonna hit really hard too, like what Ben Sherratt was supposed to be.
Well, I will just take a defenseman at this point. Let's not like
You're
I had tweeted like a week ago. I'm like, listen, with these moves, I'm not gonna say I'm cheesed until the end of the trade deadline. And if we still don't sign a defenseman, then I'm cheesed. And I'm cheesed.
you're telling me that you're not a big fan of the Robert Hagg experience.
You know what, Jake? That's exactly what I'm telling you. I don't want
Strap in, baby. We're going Hag Express.
I don't want Hag or Lindstrom or Osterley on this team, and that's literally half of our top six. Sherrod,
That's
we're
sad. That's
stuck
bleak.
with. Oh,
Now, in terms of upcoming defenseman free agents, let
I
me read
want
you a
Quinn
couple of names.
Hughes.
Well, Quinn Hughes is an RFA, and he just signed a big deal. I would love to have him, but here are your options right now.
Oh God,
Matt Dumba. Okay, I could hear Matt Dumba. Damon Severson.
no.
Jake Gardner.
Eh.
Kevin Shattenkirk.
Oh yeah, I'd take him, and he's a vet, so
He's old now.
I know,
John Klingberg.
but we need that.
I don't.
Klingberg is
I
fine
don't.
too.
Radko Gudas could be pretty good
Oh
because
yeah, Gudas.
he's tough. I mean,
He's
he's
really
gonna
good. He's on the Panthers, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps that'd be an option. I could get behind that.
Oh, I really
Vladislav
like that.
Gavrikov. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we got some options here. I'm not terribly worried now that I'm looking at this. I was a little more like doomer when I was reading a lot of it, but
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks for bringing that up, actually. Thanks for doing your homework and providing me with this information.
I'm happy to help. We can get tough next year. I think Carter Mazer, if he makes it, could be really
Oh,
good.
yeah. But I don't want him, like he's still going to be a baby. And, a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying this brings room for Edvinson to come up and whatnot, but I don't know if he's even ready. Also, we haven't even talked about, the speculation behind why Adam Ernie was called up instead of, like, Soderblom. Would you have wanted to see Soderblom over Ernie?
I think there's a reason why they called him up beforehand. I think I wanted to have Soderblom up, but like I feel like maybe there's something that he needs to learn a little more or like work on his consistency. Like, let me pull up the Griffin stats right now so we can get a
More than
feel for
Adam
how
Ernie?
Soderblom's season's gone. Ernie, you already know what you're going to get with Ernie.
Eliteness.
And
you know what? For what it's worth, that man does play with grit. And I feel like if he was in the game against Ottawa, we would have had a little bit more of an edge, even if that's not skill-wise, but just he is a dog. He has the dog in him. We know that.
It looks like Soderblom was out for like a long time.
Yeah.
But in 19 games, he has 8 points. It's all right for a first year in Grand Rapids. That's not terrible, but like, I think they're probably looking at, how do we get him? How do we get somebody that can like help with the scoring? Because now we're like bleeding. We're bleeding because we're missing Bertuzzi. We're missing Verana. Like, two of our highest scoring forwards
for a lot of the season anyway through injury
for sure.
and player assistance. So
I'm scrolling through the stats and I forgot that Philip Zadina played a couple games down here,
dude,
like as a conditioning stint.
Zadina has an issue that some men have, and he cannot finish.
Oh, he has performance anxiety. No, he can't finish.
Yeah.
That's sad. Maybe he'll, you can work on that. You just got to get to some therapy. Do you know how much wonders I think would help hockey players if they just all went to therapy?
How about humans as in general?
Yes. That's actually like one of my laws I have for dating.
I also will not date someone if they don't go to therapy.
Yeah. You know, have you ever dated somebody that doesn't have like depression or any sort of mental
Yes.
illness?
My
It's
last
weird.
ex, he was so neurotypical, it made me yeah, it's weird.
I dated the sweetest teacher for a while, and she was
And you
just
tainted her.
like
You
this.
think you're the good cop, but you're the bad cop.
Oh, I was the problem in this
Yeah.
relationship for sure. But like, she's very sweet, very nice. I still wish her the best, even though we don't talk. But like, she didn't have any sort of mental ills until I came along.
What'd you give her?
I don't know, trauma.
Oh
No,
god.
I don't know. I probably made her really sad because
Oh
like we
my
were together for
god.
a while, but I don't know why I'm going on this tangent here. I'm
Speaking of trauma, let's talk about the other notable trades from the trade deadline, and we can be done with that bit. So, other notable trades: the trauma-induced Kane to Rangers, something that
we all knew that was coming. Yeah, let's
exactly.
just blitz through these.
I'm ready to
Like
blitz.
that
Meyer.
mid. Um, sorry, I'm just gonna finish the Kane bit really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Mid return for Chicago, very funny. Kane played like shit and also got sensed like we did on his first game. They got like dummied by
Oh
Ottawa.
yeah.
So Ottawa's like on fire right now, which good for them. But anyway,
No, not good for them.
bad for them then.
Thank you. Timo Meyer
um,
finally decided where he's gonna go. Well, not him, but whatever. He's off to the
holy shit,
Devils.
the Devils are really good now too.
I think it's gonna be nice to watch. Imagine if the Rangers play the Devils in the playoffs. Oh my god, that playoff series would be
Must watch every game.
electric. Yeah, but I would have wanted Timo Meyer, obviously. So rip.
Tanner Jeannot went to Tampa Bay for
Whatever.
way more than like any other player did this deadline.
I would.
I guess I get it because like that's what Julien Brisebois does. He gets his depth picks and pays an arm and a leg for them.
Yeah.
And I guess he's got this guy for a while, but like, holy overpay. Thank you, Julien Brisebois, because your overpay probably helped us to set the market for Bertuzzi.
Yeah, for sure. Orlov and Hathaway to Boston. I guess this one's a little bit older. This is when the Caps
Unreal.
gave up. This
Yeah.
yeah, the Caps, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would have liked a guy like Hathaway too, because he's like again one of those like tougher guys. He's not going to back down. Dmitry Orlov is really good. He's playing. The Bruins fans keep calling him like Dmitry Bobby Orlov.
Oh god, that is so annoying.
Yeah. He's playing really good though. So
Well,
I
not
mean,
that good. Not good enough to be
holy.
fucking compared to Bobby Orr. Holy fucking Christ.
Yeah, Gustav Nick Lindstrom is playing really well.
That had the potential to be epic. Are you kidding? Also, it really
It was right
bothers
there.
me. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people call Lindstrom Lidstrom or when people call Lidstrom Lindstrom.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
It drives me
They're like, wow.
nuts.
Somebody the other day was like, wow, Nick Lidstrom still plays for the Wings. I'm like, no, dumbass. There's a letter right there.
I mean, if you don't watch, I understand. I was with my grandparents this weekend, and my grandpa used to watch the Wings when they played at the Olympia, and then he doesn't really follow anymore. But we were watching the game together, and he goes, "Did anyone ever replace Gordie Howe?" And I said to him, "Never, Grandpa. He's not replaceable."
No, how could you? Let's see, what else do we have here? Jacob Chikrin went to Ottawa. The arms race continues. They got him for less than we spent to get.
He should have just come to Detroit, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then
well, we could have had him.
Quick. He was in Ohio for like a second. He's like, "Fuck this shit." Now he's a. That's the smartest thing a man can do when you get to Ohio is you get out of there as soon as you can.
You know what's crazy is he never actually left his house in LA.
Good for him.
He literally like called Columbus and was like, "Trade me." Like, sorry, I'm not playing here.
He's like, "I am not playing there." Good for him.
So they sent him to Vegas. Now Quick gets to be in his villain arc, going against his old team, probably in the playoffs.
And it's like for the most part, it's all of these players who are decent in the West coming to the East. So that's at least like one of the ones he stays in the West. It's so I don't even want to talk. I'm going to save this for next episode. But the disparity between the West and the East, we need to discuss it, but not right now.
It's not even close. Yeah. Like,
save that.
Like,
Save
what
it.
was I going to say? No, it's not about the West and the East. At what point when you were seeing all these trades come in with like players coming to the East, were you like, okay, maybe we shouldn't try to make the playoffs?
I didn't feel that way until the first Ottawa game.
When I saw Vlad Tarasenko come over, I was like, what? And then the Orlov thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's
So
so
we're even if you make the playoffs, like
Meyer
you're
to
gonna
New
get creamed.
Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. All right.
And then last but not least, Rasmus Sandin from the Toronto Maple Leafs to Washington.
Yep.
I don't know if you're familiar with Sandin at all, or if you've like watched him play, but getting him moved, I was like, what was bro cooking? What were you thinking? Why would you move on from that guy? Because
I don't know, man.
They didn't replace him with much.
Ugh.
I wonder what Nick Alberga
I was
thinks.
just about to say, I can't wait to ask Nick Alberga and also re-ask him the question if he thinks the Leafs are going to get knocked out in the first round. Maybe he'll give a real answer this time.
Oh, well, last time he technically said, I'm looking at vacation packages already. Ryan O'Reilly's hurt, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Yeah, so...
Leafs fans also freaking about Schenn. We didn't even talk about Luke Schenn, but...
Oh, my God. I forgot Luke Schenn existed. I'll be honest.
Well...
I don't think he's that good. Anyway.
Fine.
What do I know? There were 2 ex-wings that got moved. Troy Stetcher went from Arizona to Calgary, and then Gustav Nyquist, the Goose, is in Minnesota now.
Going back to what I said earlier, when Nyquist got traded, that kind of hurt me because I loved him.
He was great.
He was great.
Like, to me, this old core of like Hronek, Bertuzzi, Verana, kind of reminds me of like that like Tatar, Stetcher, Athanasiou. Like, these guys are good, but are they like good? Are they the core? Right. Are they the answer?
Right.
And apparently, Steve Yzerman doesn't think they're the answer. So, yeah.
So this is a question that Nick asked us. Do you have you lost faith in the Yzer plan?
No. I kind of figured that this was the plan from the start. Like, tear down everything Ken Holland built, pick up the pieces that look valuable, and then move on.
Fair enough.
I'm a little bit shocked at like the timeline, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little further on than I thought. Like, I honestly thought like, oh, next season we're going to be pushing for the playoffs, and we still can. I think that's still a possibility, but...
Well, I think we also just got our hopes up. We got teased with this run here at the end, so I think we need to go back to reality land and go back to what we thought we were at like a month ago or 2 months ago.
But I don't want to go to reality land. I want to live in Delusion World.
Delusion World is so fun, dude. We won the Cup like 10 more times in my Delusion World. And you know what else?
So like,
you know what else happened in Delusion World?
Oh no.
He picked Nemestikov back up. For those who don't know, there's this really weird phenomena with Nemestikov that fans just always want him back. And I'm like...
He was with the Wings for like a year and a half, maybe.
And then people treat him like he's like going to the fucking Hall of Fame, man.
There's a gif of him when he scored a goal where he like skates by the crowd and like hugs on his jersey, flashes the logo. And I think that like immediately, like that to a lot of fans was like the scene in a romantic movie where it like shows the slow cut of the girl turning and smiling, and it plays like at last.
Etta James.
Yeah, like yeah. I don't get it. I don't. Oh yeah, shit. Nemesnikov moved too. Forgot about that. So Vlad Nemesnikov was with Tampa Bay, got moved to San Jose, where he was immediately moved to Winnipeg. So now he's played for like
he might come back in the off season.
Oh God, he's good. I mean, he's like a good depth guy, but it's like, why are we really that into the fourth line guy? You know what I mean?
You can be into the fourth line guy, but him. I have no beef with him. It is different. The way that we thirst over him, and the way that he slid into our DMs.
Ugh. Right. Oh yeah. And we made a joke on our Twitter where we made fun of Helene St. James because the day, I think the day Verana was waived and made it to the minors, she takes a picture of like the poster with him on the LCA walls, and she's like, Jacob Verana poster still hanging at LCA. He's already been waived, cleared, and sent to the minors.
Yeah.
And so we found the Adam Ernie poster and said, Adam Ernie poster is sent on the, like the exact template.
Yeah.
And Ernie messages us and he goes, cold, guys, thanks.
Yeah, he wrote, that's cold, ...
That's cold.
Bro, that broke my heart.
Oh, it made me so sad. So we had to message him back, and we're like, no, like, we love you. We're making fun of Helene. And he was like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then I had responded because you were talking to him. I was like, we miss you and we love you. And I don't know if he responded or not, but whatever.
We'll bring him back on the show again. Friend of the show.
Before we wrap here, Jake, just
we still have many topics.
What do you want to talk about?
Many things.
What?
How do you feel right now?
No.
No. How do you feel?
I feel fine
about the Iser plan.
Oh. I'm confusion. Like, it's hard for me to.
You sound like you're like doing one of those YouTube apology videos where they're
having an aneurysm. No, I feel like this is all going to come together in like 2 years, but I will have less faith if we are not more successful next year.
I just wonder what success looks like next year.
Do you
think we're going to get Bedard?
If we don't make the playoffs next year, I'm going to be pissed. No, we're not going to get Bedard.
If we get Bedard...
We're not getting Bedard.
How do you know?
Jake, remember what we talked about tempting expectations? Do you remember that chat that we had?
Do you remember Delusion World?
Oh, Delusion World. All right, chat me in, baby. Bedard, let's go.
First line Bedard, second line Austin Matthews,
yes,
Connor McDavid.
Wait, you'd put it from that bunch?
No, I'm just kidding. It'd be McDavid second line. But this is Delusion World, so I can do whatever the hell I want.
Good point. I forgot about Delusion World.
And they're all signed to league minimum salaries.
Shut up, dude. At least get the men paid.
Right? Okay, like $3 million each. All right, that's fine. Okay, so like, who do you think was the biggest winner of the trade deadline? And who do you think the biggest losers were?
Losers were Wings fans.
No, I think the losers were like Philly.
No, Vancouver.
Vancouver has no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Vancouver's dicked. Winners,
Calgary didn't do anything really.
Boston won. Calgary didn't do shit. Minnesota didn't do much.
Yeah, Boston's a winner.
Panthers didn't do much either.
No.
A lot
Rangers
of teams
are a winner.
sat still. Yeah, Rangers could be a potential winner. Tarasenko and Kane.
I think. Yeah, I mean it's like the best you can do with what
you're
given.
Jersey got Timo Meier.
Yeah, Devils are a winner. Who else? I think Arizona kind of took a small L with that Chychrun trade. So?
I mean, they were trying to get rid of him for so long.
I just feel like they could have got more.
Maybe.
I think Ottawa has a chance to be they're either going to be a winner or a loser, and there's really like no in between. And I realize that's like such a generic, like it doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
But like if they make the playoffs and Chychrun plays well enough, they're a winner. If they don't make the playoffs and then that pick becomes a lottery pick that gets Bedard to Arizona, then Ottawa is the biggest loser.
I don't know.
Connor Bedard for Jacob Chychrun.
That would be just objectively hilarious, but yeah, that's how I feel about the Iser plan. I also just hatched a plan that me and you are going to go to Nashville for the draft this year.
That would actually be really tight.
Okay, well, we're doing it.
What day is the draft?
I don't know. July.
I think it's July.
Usually, yeah, it's like the first week of July.
I'm going to tell you exactly when. Wednesday, June 28th, 2023 through Thursday, June 29th, 2023. That is actually pretty doable.
I went to the draft in Florida like 8 or 9 years ago, which is really fun. I
want to go party with all the journalists.
Okay, let's do it.
If Sarah Siv goes, I would drink with. I would immediately party with Sarah Siv.
Oh, she's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Max Boltman. I get a beer with the Bolt.
He just did a piece about the Motor City Rockers, and I talked about that on the solo episode when you weren't here. but
That's awesome.
that's a
Oh,
good
I love that.
yeah, that's
Um,
a good time when you
there's a
inevitably move to
couple.
Detroit. No, we are not extending this episode anymore.
Why?
I'm tired. Everyone's tired of listening to us.
I don't think so. I think we could talk all day and people would listen.
You
Can I
that's
ask you one more
You're in
question before we
delusion
go?
world, Jacob. I
Fucking
know.
delusion world.
You are stuck in delusion world if you think that. It's like I feel like we've been talking for like 3 hours. I'm also hungover, so
It's been 2 weeks since the Patrick Kane trade,
it
5
has.
years since Timo Meyer got moved, and I have
1,000
one more
years since
question.
Michael Bunting was birthed.
you
Why is that always funny? Like, those jokes don't die. It's like making fun of
know who
British
else doesn't
people.
die?
Who?
Yeah, Michael Bunting.
Okay, go on.
Um, Final question: out of all of the teams in the NHL right now, who do you think is the most cursed?
I still Canucks. They have no
It's got to be
direction,
them.
no prospects. I
No
just
bitches.
no bitches.
I think that Toronto's also like forever cursed, but like they're a
I
different
don't
kind of
know.
curse. They're
This is
like
gonna be their year, Jake.
you think so?
Yeah,
Can we just like clip that sound clip and then play it in like November of every year?
yeah.
This is gonna be their year. This is gonna be their year. I love it. Okay.
What do you think? Oh, I guess
I
Toronto
think
was your answer.
I think it depends on who they play in the playoffs too.
Well,
If they play
it's
Tampa,
either
they're fucked.
if they really. I feel like they could maybe beat at least go to another G7 this year.
They got dismantled by Vancouver last night.
Oh yeah,
Vancouver. Imagine being the most cursed franchise and getting destroyed by the even more most cursed franchise.
that's just
Okay.
a sad hockey night in Canada is the least for the Canucks.
Speaking of a sad hockey night, it is the night of this episode, and
And
we're
all
talking
is
about
still.
hockey, and we're
Eh.
both sad.
It's the night of this episode, and all is still on Broad
Was the
Street.
night of the
Exactly.
episode, and all on Woodward Avenue was
No, it's on
silent.
Broad Street tonight against the
Broad
Flyers.
Street.
Broad
Oh,
Street
okay. Well,
Bullies.
I wish they were still the Broad Street Bullies. I wish they were fun. They're kind of like rancid.
Besides Gritty's fun. Gritty saved
Gritty's
them.
cool. Oh, did you?
What?
Sorry, one more thing.
What?
Did you watch any of the trade deadline panel and see like Bruce Boudreau?
Oh, I did. He looked so jolly and happy.
He's so precious.
And all of his colleagues on TSN were also saying like, "Oh, and you were on the whatever on the other side, and we're so happy that you're here now." And it was so wholesome. I
I just wanted to
know.
hug him.
I want to hug
Did
him.
you? Did you see the video, the music video they made too?
Uh-uh.
They made a music video about like playing like crap to get Connor Bedard, and it was very
Send
corny.
it to me.
But I also kind of like admire the fact that they leaned into the bit.
Oh yeah.
I'll see if I can
He
find
seems
it.
like a good sport.
Mm-hmm.
He
I like
seems
Brucey.
like a good cuddler. He would want to, I feel like, be Big Spoon.
I feel like he'd be like just a nice little grandpa, you know, who's like, "Hey, I carved you this," and he like hands you a little wood carved like horse.
Mhm. I feel
He's
like
like, "I made this for
he
you."
would make a wood rocking chair.
Yeah, I could see that. Old Brucey.
And he would wear Carhartt overalls, but like old ones before it got gentrified.
He's the like, it ain't much, but it's honest work.
Oh,
Like he's that
he
meme.
really is. And he has like a piece of straw hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, he's sitting back on his bench like
Oh
this.
yeah, he has his fingers intertwined on his
Do you know the
belly.
like? If he grew up in Louisiana, he'd be like that dude
He's
from
Canadian.
Waterboy, who's like,
We can just make him from Alberta. It's like the same thing.
yeah, I could see that.
He might
I think
actually
he's
be
nice.
from Alberta. I have no idea where he's from.
Bruce, I would
I
love
bet
to
you he's
get a
from the
beer with you.
GTA. Let's check.
Have you ever heard the story about? I think I've already mentioned this on the show, but the story about him in like Minnesota
Yes.
when the fire alarm went off.
Yes. He's from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
He's the same height as me. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, his brothers' names are Barry and Brian. Barry, Brian, and
Barry.
Bruce Boudreau.
That's so Canadian. They're all like the most Canadian names.
And he has sons, Ben and Brady. Wow, they really like the bees.
We should see if we can reach out to him. I would love to have him on the show. I think it would
That
be
would
really
be
funny.
so cute.
I want to hear all the sweet old man stories.
If he comes on the show, I'm going to ask him if he wants to be Big Spoon or Little Spoon.
Oh, He'd be like, "What's a spoon?"
No, he's like stop. Canada isn't that fucking
He'll go, "Oh,
remote.
I could get you a big spoon. I make a lot of oatmeal in the morning." Like,
All right,
no,
Rancid.
I feel like he's the grandpa that would like make pancakes. He'd get like the cute little
Oh,
like
he
heart
would.
shaped pancakes, or he'd try to make like a Mickey Mouse
I
pancake
love
for you.
him.
We love you, Bruce Boudreaux.
Bruce Brady,
Words are hard.
Bob, and
Bob
whatever.
Barry.
Whatever.
Anyway, we love you guys at 313 Hockey. And take care. We're not burned out. Everything is good and happy. Bye-bye.